The most dangerous person in the room is not the loud one, not the angry one, not even the one with power. It's the one who can walk away with silence, strength, and no explanation. That's dark detachment, and once you master it, people can't control you, life can't break you, and pain can't own you. Detachment is not weakness. It is the purest form of power. In a world that thrives on emotional reaction, the person who can detach stands apart. Think about it. People will provoke you, tempt you, and test you, all to see if they can control your response. The one who reacts too quickly becomes predictable, easy to manipulate, easy to break. But the one who can detach, who can step back, breathe, and walk away without saying a word, that person holds the real authority. Detachment is not about not caring. It is about caring so deeply for your peace that you refuse to trade it for anything less. When you master detachment, you become untouchable, because nobody can drag you into battles you never agreed to fight. Detachment is a choice, and like all choices, it requires discipline. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can give in to anger, jealousy, or fear. But it takes discipline to stay calm when someone disrespects you. It takes discipline to walk away when your pride wants to argue. And it takes discipline to remain silent when your ego wants to be heard. That is why detachment is power, because it demands that you rise above the urge to prove yourself in the heat of the moment. Instead, you prove yourself in the stillness, in the restraint, in the strength of silence. The one who can detach has already won, because they are no longer enslaved to emotion. Power in detachment comes from knowing that you don't need to chase, you don't need to beg, you don't need to fight for a seat at anyone's table. Your worth is not dependent on their recognition. It is not dependent on being chosen, accepted, or approved. When you detach, you release the chains of external validation, and that freedom is magnetic. People respect it, even fear it, because it's rare. Most people are addicted to the opinions of others. Most people are ruled by the need to be noticed. But when you can walk in a room and carry yourself with quiet confidence, with no desire to prove anything, that's when your presence speaks louder than any words could. That's when you own the room without lifting a finger. Detachment is also power because it allows you to see clearly. When you are emotionally entangled, you don't think straight. You think in reaction. You see only through the fog of what you feel. But when you detach, the fog lifts. You can see who is genuine and who is fake. You can see the opportunity beyond the distraction. You can see the truth that was hidden behind your own desire. Detachment clears your vision, and with clarity comes strength. You stop making desperate moves. You stop chasing temporary highs. You stop giving energy to things that were never worth it. And once you stop wasting energy, you can redirect it to building, growing, and creating the life you deserve. Another layer of this power is psychological. People expect you to respond. They expect anger. They expect begging. They expect tears. But when you respond with detachment, you break the script. You create discomfort in them, not in you. Suddenly, they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you'll do next. That uncertainty shifts the power dynamic in your favor, because now they are the ones chasing your reaction. They are the ones unsettled by your silence. Detachment flips the game. The more you don't respond, the more power you gain, and the more control you keep. It's a subtle power, but it's the most dangerous kind, because it can't be predicted or controlled. Lastly, detachment is power because it creates inner peace, and peace is the greatest weapon in a chaotic world. When everyone else is consumed by drama, fear, or noise, you remain calm. You remain focused. You remain grounded in yourself. Peace is intimidating to those who live off chaos because they can't shake you. They can't distract you. They can't drag you down to their level. This makes you unstoppable. The power of detachment is not about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. Once you master yourself, the world can no longer master you. Emotions are the sharpest weapons you carry, and the most dangerous ones that can be used against you. People will test you not with fists, but with feelings. They don't need to strike you physically. They just need to push the right emotional buttons to make you destroy yourself. Anger, jealousy, insecurity, fear. These are triggers, and the world knows how to pull them. If you don't control your emotions, someone else will, and once they do, you're no longer steering your own life. That's why mastering your emotions is not just about peace, it's about survival. If you let others dictate your feelings, you hand them the keys to your mind. Think about it. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. They react to everything. They explode at the smallest spark, and they believe that outshouting the world makes them strong. But true strength is quiet. True strength is staying calm when others lose control. Because when you lose control of your emotions, you lose control of your decisions, your focus, and your future. Emotions can blind you. They can make you chase what hurts you and walk away from what could heal you. They can convince you to fight battles that don't matter just to protect an ego that's already fragile. When you let emotions lead, you become a puppet, dancing to someone else's strings. But when you master them, you cut those strings and move by choice, not by reaction. The dangerous part is that people study your emotions. They notice what makes you jealous, what makes you angry, what makes you desperate. They take notes silently, and then, when the time is right, they use it against you. Someone who knows how to control their emotions is like a locked vault. You can't access them, you can't manipulate them, you can't even predict them. But someone who leaks emotions everywhere, they're an open book. Easy to read, easy to control, easy to destroy. That's why you must guard your emotions like treasure. Because once the world knows your emotional weaknesses, they can take everything else from you. Another truth, emotions can be addictive. Anger feels powerful, love feels intoxicating, revenge feels satisfying, but addictions always leave you empty, always cost you more than they give. How many people ruin their lives because they couldn't walk away from an emotional high? How many relationships, careers, and dreams have burned to the ground because someone chose feelings over discipline? That's why emotions are weapons. They can cut others, but they can also cut you. And if you don't respect their power, you'll end up bleeding from your own blade. The most powerful people are not the ones who never feel. They feel everything, but they don't let those feelings drive them. They channel anger into discipline. They channel heartbreak into purpose. They channel fear into preparation. That is the secret. Emotions are weapons, but in the right hands they become tools. You can let them destroy you, or you can let them sharpen you. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you wise. Anger can make you reckless, or it can make you unstoppable. The emotion itself is not the enemy. The lack of control is. At the end of the day, emotions are like fire. If you control fire, it gives you light, warmth, and power. But if you lose control, it burns your house to the ground. Too many people walk around holding fire with bare hands, wondering why they keep getting burned. Control your fire, control your emotions, and never forget. Emotions are weapons, but the deadliest weapon is the one that knows when not to strike. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a weapon, sharp, precise, and devastating in its impact. When you refuse to give people the reaction they expect, you disarm them. They wanted your anger, your desperation, your need for explanation. But instead, you gave them silence. That silence says more than 1,000 words ever could. Because silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of control. It tells the world, I am not moved by you, I am not shaken by you, I am not owned by you. And that message is louder than any speech you could ever make. We live in a world addicted to noise. Everyone is talking, everyone is posting, everyone is shouting to prove something. But strength is not found in constant noise, it's found in quiet confidence. The person who doesn't feel the need to defend themselves, explain themselves, or announce their next move is the one who holds the true power. Because mystery is magnetic. When you go silent, you force people to wonder, to question, to imagine. And often, their imagination is far more powerful than any truth you could tell. Silence makes them curious. Silence makes them respect you. Silence makes them uneasy because they can't read you. Think about how silence works in conflict. When two people argue, the one who loses their temper first is the one who loses control. The one who stays calm, quiet, and composed is the one who wins. Silence breaks the rhythm of chaos. It disrupts the energy of anger. It steals the satisfaction from those who wanted to provoke you, because silence says, you don't control me. It says, I choose peace over chaos. It says, your words cannot move me. And that kind of restraint terrifies people who rely on emotional reactions to feel powerful. They expect your explosion, but when they get your silence, it feels like a mirror reflecting their weakness. Silence also creates space for clarity. In silence, you hear things others miss. You notice details. You understand motives. You see the truth behind the noise. Most people talk so much they drown in their own words, but silence gives you perspective. It allows you to observe instead of react, to think instead of guess, to move strategically instead of emotionally. The loudest person in the room may get attention, but the quietest person often gets control. Because silence sharpens awareness, and awareness builds strength. But silence isn't just about others, it's about you. It teaches you self-mastery. When you can sit in silence, you learn to listen to yourself. You learn to trust your intuition. You learn that you don't need constant validation or noise to feel alive. Silence connects you to your inner power. It helps you realize that your energy is too valuable to waste on explanations, too sacred to waste on proving yourself to people who don't matter. Silence preserves your dignity, your peace, and your focus. And once you fall in love with silence, you'll never again beg for noise. And finally, silence leaves a mark. Long after your words are forgotten, your silence will be remembered. Because silence forces people to fill in the blanks themselves. And those blanks echo louder than anything you could say. They will wonder why you didn't respond. They will wonder what you're planning. They will wonder if they even mattered to you at all. And that wondering gives you more power than words ever could. Silence speaks louder because silence is not empty. It is full of strength, discipline, and unshakable confidence. Peace is not passive. Peace is not weakness. Peace is the highest form of strength in a world that thrives on chaos. Anyone can throw punches, raise their voice, or create noise. But it takes a stronger person to remain calm when everyone else is losing their mind. Choosing peace is not about avoiding conflict. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that chaos has no power over you. It's looking chaos in the eye and saying, "You will not drag me down. I control me, not you." That's power. Chaos feeds on reaction. It needs you to panic, to argue, to fight back blindly. The moment you react without discipline, chaos wins. But when you choose peace, you starve chaos of its energy. You stand still while everything else spins. You become the calm center in the middle of the storm. That calm confuses people. It frustrates those who tried to provoke you. They expected a fire, but you gave them water. They wanted noise, but you gave them silence. Peace dismantles chaos because chaos cannot survive without fuel, and you refuse to provide it. True peace is not about external silence. It's about inner stability. You can be in the loudest room, surrounded by negativity, yet still remain untouched if your inner world is steady. Inner peace is built when you stop tying your emotions to circumstances, people, or outcomes. It is built when you realize that no matter what happens outside, your inside remains strong. That's why peace is more powerful than chaos. Chaos comes from the outside, but peace is created from within. Chaos is temporary, but peace is eternal, if you know how to protect it. Peace also gives you clarity. When chaos is loud, people make desperate decisions. They rush, they stumble, they act out of fear. But when you are at peace, you see the bigger picture. You don't just react. You respond with wisdom. Peace allows you to calculate your moves instead of stumbling through them. It allows you to preserve your energy for what truly matters. While others waste themselves on battles that lead nowhere, you focus on building, growing, and moving forward. That's the gift of peace. It protects your focus while chaos drains everyone else's. Another reason peace is power is because it's rare. The world is addicted to drama. People crave conflict. They want to see you unsettled, unbalanced, exposed. But when you show them peace, they can't figure you out. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And that mystery gives you leverage. Your peace is a wall they can't climb, a weapon they can't touch. It intimidates those who only know how to live in chaos because they realize you're playing a different game. You don't need to shout. You don't need to fight. You don't even need to prove yourself. Your peace proves it for you. And most of all, peace protects your legacy. Chaos destroys reputations, relationships, and dreams. How many great people have lost everything because they couldn't master themselves in moments of chaos? But peace preserves you. It builds trust. It builds respect. It builds a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. Peace is not about avoiding storms. It's about walking through them untouched. And when you learn to carry peace in a chaotic world, you don't just survive, you stand out. Because peace is not just a choice. Peace is power. Respect is not earned by how loud you can shout or how hard you can strike. It is earned by how well you can control yourself. Anybody can lose control. Anybody can scream when they're angry, fight when they're challenged, or argue when they feel disrespected. But restraint takes strength. Restraint takes discipline. Restraint is what separates those who are ruled by their emotions from those who command their emotions. And in the end, the world respects the one who can master themselves more than the one who tries to dominate others. Think about it. When you see someone explode in anger, you might notice them, but you don't admire them. You don't respect them. You pity them, because their lack of control reveals weakness, not strength. But when you see someone stay calm under pressure, when you see them choose silence over insult, when you see them smile while others lose their temper, that's when respect is earned. That kind of restraint is unforgettable, because it shows the world that your power does not need to be displayed loudly. It is steady, it is unshakable, and that quiet control leaves an impact louder than any outburst ever could. Restraint is not about avoiding conflict, it's about controlling the outcome. When you hold back your words, your anger, your impulses, you're not running from the fight. You're deciding when and if the fight is even worth it. You're choosing strategy over emotion. That's why restraint is respected. It shows maturity. It shows that you are not driven by ego, but by wisdom. It shows that you're not here to prove yourself. You're here to protect your peace and your power. People may misunderstand your silence in the moment, but they will respect it in the long run. Restraint is also rare. In today's world, people think that every insult deserves a reaction, every disagreement deserves a fight, and every opinion deserves to be defended. But the truth is, restraint separates you from the crowd. When everyone else is reactive, your discipline makes you stand out. Your restraint shows that your energy is valuable, that you don't waste it on nonsense, that you don't lower yourself to every challenge thrown at you. That's why people respect restraint. It proves you have control over your emotions, and that control is power. Even in leadership, restraint earns respect. A leader who lashes out, who makes emotional decisions, who reacts without thought, they lose trust. But a leader who exercises restraint, who thinks before they act, who doesn't let emotions cloud their judgment, that leader commands respect without ever demanding it. The same applies to your personal life. In relationships, in friendships, in family, restraint builds trust. People feel safe with you because they know you won't lose yourself in anger, jealousy, or fear. Restraint shows reliability, and reliability is the root of respect. And here's the truth. Restraint doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean you don't feel the fire inside. It means you've mastered it. It means you've learned to hold it, control it, and use it wisely. Restraint is strength under control. It's a lion who doesn't need to roar to prove it's a lion. It's a warrior who doesn't swing the sword unless the battle is worth it. That's why respect is earned not by how hard you fight, but by how wisely you choose not to fight. Restraint is discipline. Discipline is strength. And strength is always respected. The world will always test you. Life will throw storms your way. People will try to shake your confidence. And circumstances will push you to your limits. But the one thing that separates those who rise from those who fall is unshakable energy. When your energy cannot be broken, when your spirit cannot be bent, you become unstoppable. Because power is not about never facing challenges. It's about standing tall when everything else around you is falling apart. Unshakable energy wins because it cannot be defeated by external forces. This kind of energy doesn't come from hype, from noise, or from temporary motivation. It comes from within. It's built in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It's built when you discipline your mind, train your body, and strengthen your spirit. Unshakable energy comes from resilience, the decision that no matter what happens, you will not quit, you will not fold, you will not give up your ground. People may doubt you, criticize you, even abandon you. But if your energy remains steady, you will outlast them all. Endurance always wins over intensity. Unshakable energy is intimidating because most people don't have it. Most people break when pressure hits. Most people fold when rejection comes. Most people give up when the pain is too heavy. But when you refuse to break, when you stand firm, when you keep moving forward regardless of the storm, that's when people take notice. That's when they respect you. That's when they realize you're playing a different game. Your strength is not in how loud you roar, but in how unmovable you remain when life tries to silence you. The truth is, the world doesn't respect excuses. It respects results. And results come from consistency, not convenience. Anyone can show up when it's easy, when it's fun, when everything feels good. But unshakable energy shows up even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when there's no applause. That's why it wins. Because while others burn out chasing quick highs, you keep moving forward with steady power. You don't need hype to keep you going. Your discipline is your fuel. Your purpose is your engine. And that consistency builds results no one can deny. Unshakable energy also protects you from manipulation. People can only control what they can shake. If your emotions, your confidence, or your focus can be rattled, you'll always be at the mercy of others. But when your energy is unshakable, their games don't work. They can talk, they can test, they can try to break you. But you stay centered, you stay grounded, you stay focused on your mission, and eventually they get tired. They realize nothing moves you. That's the power of unshakable energy. It exhausts the enemy without ever exhausting you. And in the end, unshakable energy always outlasts chaos. Storms don't last forever. Pain doesn't last forever. Even failure doesn't last forever. But if your energy remains unshakable, you will survive long enough to see the storm pass, to feel the pain fade, to turn failure into growth. That's the secret. It's not about never being knocked down. It's about never staying down, because the energy that refuses to quit, refuses to bend, and refuses to break is the energy that always wins. So remember this. Power is not in chasing, not in begging, not in proving yourself to anyone. Power is in restraint, in silence, in peace, in the discipline to detach and remain unshakable no matter what comes your way. The world will try to pull you into chaos, people will try to test your emotions, life will try to shake your ground, but when you walk with dark detachment, when you master yourself, you become untouchable. Because at the end of the day, respect is not given to the loudest, the angriest, or the strongest. Respect belongs to the one who can stay calm, stay focused, and stay unbroken. That's the energy you must carry. That's the energy they cannot take from you. That's the energy that wins, always.